And the way they track it, they say for every interception you throw 2.3 other passes that are interception worthy. So you're going to throw some. Everybody's got some. Everybody throws interception worthy throws. But his is, instead of 2.3 to 1, his is 4 to 1, which is too high. So they say he had 16 interception worthy throws last year in the 9 games. So there's another inexperienced thing that you hope he will cut down in his first full year as the starter. These are all things to shoot for. I don't think it's that uncommon for a rookie quarterback to have a lot of interception-worthy throws, which is why in the whole, if he throws a pick in practice, let's not freak out, because you do have to kind of understand what you can get away with. In practice, you might as well do that. And then in the game, you have a better sense of, should I try to throw this ball or should I just take the sack?
Well, yeah, you don't want any. It's better. I guess it's better to have, the stats say if you start a whole season, you end up on average throwing 23 to 25 touchdowns. And against 10 interceptions, somewhere around 10 to 12 interceptions. Okay, if you're going to have those interceptions, I would rather have the interception-worthy throws rather than the interceptions. You see what I'm saying? Because they don't. I think a lot of passes, when they look at it, they're not describing it or saying, well, that ball had to be thrown. Like some situations, the ball had to be thrown. They may have been interception-worthy throws, but they were throws he had to throw. Like on 4th and 1, we had to get the ball out, or we're in the red zone and I have to throw it in there at the end, at the end of the game to try to get a score. So I'm sure there were moments like that, but they don't sort of put an asterisk by it and say, well, it was 4th and 1 and he was trying to throw the ball.
Right. I think they do their best to try to put all these numbers in the context, but I'm sure there are special situations like that. And this is what goes into quarterbacking. Another related one is adjusted sack rate. This is, again, with a nightmare offensive line in front of him. The number of times he's being pressured. So his sack rate, 9.7%, that ranked 29th. That's very low among the qualified quarterbacks. So sometimes you're in a choice of, do I just chuck it and throw an interception-worthy throw, or do I just eat it and take the sack? So his sack rate is high. His interception-worthy throws also high. A lot of this is because he was under duress. When he had time, this is the biggest positive out of all these numbers, he was effective. The last thing is accuracy. They have a stat that says completion percentage over expected. They grade every throw, and they say, what would the average quarterback's completion percentage be on these throws? You put all that together, you come up with a number. Brock Purdy, if 0 is the average, he completed 5.6% better than average. That was the number 1 guy in the league with that. The last place guy, our buddy, Billy Zappi, minus 6%. So Will Levis was minus 2.2%. So his overall completions percentage, 58.4%. The grade, if he was average, he should complete around 60% or more of his passes. So that stands to reason, right? His accuracy needs to get a little better.
Yeah.
And all of it comes back to, if you can put a support system around him, those numbers should improve.
Yeah, it's once you improve the offensive line, and I think that is the biggest one, then you get a better sense of who he is as a quarterback. You like some of the things that he does when he's not pressured, but that's not a perfect world. That's not going to happen. You're going to get pressure in the NFL. But if they solidify that offensive line, which it seems like they're doing, they believe in their mind, based upon, I'm sure they looked at these numbers too, and I'm thinking their thinking is, if we solidify this line, then those things that are negative, they'll start to creep into positive. His efficiency will go up, and the turnovers will go down. So they're banking on this offensive line. I think that's why they're so high on Will Levis.
In a year, it'll be interesting to go back to these numbers and see how much he advances. In a lot of ways, there's nowhere to go but up. It's not like he was bad, but the central question is, how much of it is him holding the ball, not accurate, all of these things, and how much was just the chaos going on around him. We know it's a combination of both, but how will it look in a year? Probably the biggest question, more so than wins and losses or anything, that the Titans are trying to answer this year is what do they have in him? So we're trying to set some boundaries here, some markers, and we'll kind of look at this as the season unfolds. All right, when we come back,